The storm rolled over the private airstrip like a bad omen, lightning slicing the clouds as if heaven itself was angry. Mechanics in orange vests scurried under the massive hangar lights, their voices rising in panic. The Billionaire's jet, a sleek, silver beast worth more than a small island, sat grounded, dead quiet. 3 days, roared Richard Vail, the billionaire himself, his voice echoing through the hangar. 3 days, and not one of you can tell me why my jet won't start? I have a deal to close in Tokyo worth $500 million. $500 million. He ran a hand through his salt and pepper hair, his frustration almost palpable. Technicians avoided his gaze. They had tried everything: diagnostics, part replacements, even calling in specialists from overseas. Nothing. The jet simply wouldn't respond. It was like the machine had lost its soul. And that's when he walked in. Ethan Cole, coveralls stained with oil, hair still damp from the rain, and a small wrench tucked behind his ear. He looked wildly out of place among the high-end techs and luxury equipment, like a blue-collar ghost wandering into a billionaire's kingdom. The security guard at the door frowned. "Sorry, sir, this is a restricted area." Ethan pulled out a folded piece of paper. "Got a call. Said you needed a mechanic who's not afraid to get his hands dirty." Richard turned, his eyes narrowing. "Who are you?" "Ethan Cole. Used to work for Aerotech before they downsized. Been fixing engines since I was 12. Figured I could take a look." Richard's assistant scoffed. "Sir, this guy's not certified for." Richard raised a hand, silencing him. For a moment, he just studied Ethan, the grease on his hands, the quiet confidence in his posture. "You've got 1 hour," he said coldly. "After that, you're gone." Ethan nodded. 1 hour's all I need." As he climbed into the jet, his heart pounded. Not from nerves, but from something deeper. He needed this job. His daughter, Lily, was sick. Hospital bills were stacking up. The last few months had been a storm of rejection and struggle. This wasn't just about fixing a jet, it was about fixing his life. Inside the cockpit, Ethan touched the console like a surgeon touches a patient. "Come on, girl," he whispered. "Tell me what's wrong." He listened, not to the machine's noise, but to its silence. The rhythm that wasn't there. The heartbeat that had stopped. Hours passed. One by one, the mechanics left, muttering that it was hopeless. But Ethan stayed. He traced the circuits, checked the valves, cleaned the connectors, and then, he found it. A small, hairline crack in the main ignition relay. Invisible to the naked eye. Something that no scanner would catch, but something that could kill the jet's power completely. "Got you," he murmured. He crafted a makeshift solution, a fix that wasn't in any manual, and reconnected the lines. He turned the key. The engines roared to life. The hangar filled with thunder, not from the sky this time, but from the machine itself. Technicians gasped, staring in disbelief. Ethan stepped back, eyes shining with quiet triumph. Richard Vail turned slowly toward him, his expression unreadable. "You did it." Ethan nodded. She just needed someone to listen. For the first time that night, Richard smiled. "You're not just a mechanic, Mr. Cole. You're a miracle worker." The next morning, Ethan was back in his small apartment, making pancakes for Lily. She was 7, with bright eyes and a soft voice that carried hope like sunlight. "Daddy, did you fix the plane?" she asked, swinging her legs under the kitchen table. He smiled. "I did, sweetheart. And they paid me enough to cover your treatment for a few months." Her face lit up. "You're the best mechanic ever." Ethan laughed softly, but deep down, the weight of the world still sat on his chest. He knew the road ahead was still long, her illness wasn't something that could be fixed with a wrench. A knock came at the door. Ethan opened it to find Richard Vail standing there, dressed casually, holding a small box. "Mr. Vail?" Ethan said, surprised. Richard stepped inside, looking around the modest apartment. "Didn't mean to intrude. I just wanted to thank you personally." He handed Ethan the box. Inside was a key fob, sleek, silver, engraved with a small V. "What's this?" Ethan asked. "The jet you fixed saved my company. But it also saved me. You reminded me what real dedication looks like. I'd like you to come work for me, head mechanic for my private fleet. Full salary, benefits, and medical coverage for your daughter." Ethan blinked, trying to process it. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Richard said with a smile. "Sometimes, when life grounds us, all we need is someone who knows how to make us fly again." Ethan looked over at Lily, who was watching from the table, clutching her little stuffed bear. Her eyes were full of hope. He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, Mr. Vale. Let's fly." Richard chuckled. "Call me Richard. And welcome aboard." As the billionaire left, Ethan knelt beside Lily. "Guess what, kiddo? Looks like your old man's got a new job." She threw her arms around him. "You fixed their jet, and they fixed us." Ethan held her close, his eyes misting. For the first time in years, the weight began to lift. The man who once felt grounded by life's hardships was soaring again, not in a jet, but in the quiet pride of knowing he'd earned every bit of sky he now stood under. And far above, the billionaire's jet cut across the clouds, flying higher than ever, powered by the hands of a single dad who refused to give up.